Hello, Battledome Betties, and welcome back to another review and rating video. Unfortunately, the heat wave has returned to Canada, or at least the location of mine I'm in. So that's going to be an unfortunate week or two, and we also have risk of severe storms, so that's going to be exciting. Hopefully it's not flooding, but well, we'll see. Anyways, moving on. Today's video, we got the level requirement 2 equipment. So how good are they going to be on turn 2, turn 4, turn 8? I realized that I didn't really talk about that for the level requirement 1 equipment, but overall, they're basically do nothing on turn 1 except for the fairy staff, which you actually get use of on the turn that you play it. And it's the only one that is kind of useful later on. So there are 9 level requirement 2 equipment from the main set, and anytime you see an activated ability on any of these equipment moving forward, and in the previous video, they are once per turn effects unless otherwise stated. So first up, what do we have? We have the Amulet of Chaos with the text, during your battle phase, you may roll 1 die. Resolve the following effect based on the result. You roll a 1, you heal 2 damage. Roll a 2, your opponent's Neopet heals 2 damage. And a 3, you freeze your opponent's Neopet. 4, you are frozen. 5, take 2 damage, as in you take 2 damage, or your Neopet. And 6, deal 2 damage to your opponent's Neopet. So some things to point out real quick here. The wording is very inconsistent on this card along with other cards. So like it just says heal 2 damage. Okay, well most people will assume that it means heal your Neopet 2 damage, but then it says you are frozen instead of your Neopet is frozen. So there is some little minor inconsistencies here, and I also like the chaos that they created because number 1, 4 and 5 affect you, whereas 2, 3, and 6 affect your opponent. It's not like an even 1, 3, 5 sort of thing, so that was funny to notice. Anyways, going back to like the actual effects on the card here, this is a may effect because it says during your battle phase you may roll 1 die, so you don't need to use it if you don't want to, but if you are putting this in your deck, you probably want to use it. It is equally viable to help you or hinder you, as the effects are quite literally 50-50, but the range of help and hinder is quite large. That being said, Battledome trading card game is a RNG game, so random chance. So you might as well add some more chaos. I'm going to give it 5 stars. Just kidding, it's a 1. Personally, I am going to run 2 of these in every deck because it is hilarious to me, but yeah, I would not recommend running it. Anyways, moving on. Battle Fairy Shield. Card text. When this card is revealed from your deck, you may play this card. During your opponent's battle phase, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. For every equipment revealed this way, gain 1 defense this turn. Return the revealed cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. So it is a May effect. You don't need to use it. You get 1 defense per equipment, so you get a maximum of 3 bonus defense on your opponent's turn, and I believe this is the only Battle Fairy style equipment that triggers on your opponent's turn. It's the only one that triggers on your opponent's turn, I'm pretty sure. The card text, when this card is revealed from your deck, you may play this card. This is hey, you can play this, and this will get around your 1 card played per turn during the preparation phase. So that is pretty cool. And since it reveals cards on your opponent's turn, if you have a Queen Fiora in play, you will be able to play one of the revealed cards that you flip over from this, which is quite cool. And as with all Battle Fairy equipment, will have this line of text where it says you may reveal the top X cards of your deck. And if you have multiple Battle Fairy equipment or 2 of the same one, each individual equipment piece that you have in the Battledome will reveal separate cards, and each individual equipment will only be able to interact with the cards that are revealed by that equipment. So for example, I have 2 Battle Fairy shields. I want to use both of them. I flip over the top 3 for the first Battle Fairy shield. I reveal 1 equipment. I get +1 defense. I move on to the next Battle Fairy shield. I reveal the next top 3 cards. I reveal 3 equipment. I get a +4 defense in total for that attack from my opponent. So that is pretty neat. Originally, I was pretty unimpressed on this card, but being able to reveal cards on your opponent's turn, if you have a Queen Fiora in play and you can play a card that you reveal that way, this is a very, very good card in that deck. So 5 stars. Moving on, we have Battle Hammer. During your battle phase, if you have 6 or more cards in your inventory, you may discard 1 card. Gain to attack this turn. This is a May effect, you don't need to use it, and this is a very good way to get rid of extra code stones or put cards into your discard to recur later or trigger when this is discarded on those cards. Overall, getting to attack for 1 card is not too shabby. However, it is requiring you to put resources continually into this card, aside from the, hey, I play this on level 2. Battle Fairy Shield, real quick, is useful on all turns of the game. Amulet Chaos, yeah, I guess it is useful on all turns of the game. Battle Hammer, also useful on all turns of the game. Gets weaker later on, so yeah, I'll give it 3 stars. It's a really good way to get rid of code stones, which is quite handy. Next up, Blade of the Battle Fairy. When this card is revealed from your deck, you may play this card. During your battle phase, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. For every equipment revealed this way, gain 1 attack this turn. Return the revealed cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. So, again, it's a May effect, you don't need to use it. You get 1 attack per equipment for a maximum of 3, and this works exactly like the Battle Fairy Shield, except it gives you attack on your turn. What happens if you have a Blade of the Battle Fairy in play and then you reveal a Blade of the Battle Fairy? Well, you can play the revealed Blade of the Battle Fairy due to the card's effect. When this card is revealed from your deck, you may play it. And since it is in your battle phase still, you may immediately activate the Blade of the Battle Fairy that you just played from the reveal. So that is quite cool. Very good. And that is the main archetype of this deck. Blade of the Battle Fairy and Battle Fairy Dagger, I believe is the other one, is like the very most important cards in the deck. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And again, just like the shield, it only sees the 3 cards that the Blade of the Battle Fairy reveals from itself. So you can't reveal like 7 cards from other sources and get +7 attack. No, that doesn't work. It only counts the 3 cards that this one reveals. So yeah, it's very good equipment. 5 out of 5. Moving on along, we got Blue Frost Cannon. During your battle phase, you may roll 1 die. On a critical success, freeze your opponent's Neopet. This is a May effect, you don't need to use it, and it's quite handy for control style plays, so you want to slow the game down, drag it out a little bit, and you have a stronger late game than your opponent. Overall, you need to get a 6 on the 6-sided die, so like 18%-ish of the time you are going to actually get this effect, so like it's not great. It's usually going to do nothing the turn that you play it, and it gets weaker and the later in the game that it gets, because you have other strong effects that you can play instead of a 2-cost maybe freeze your opponent. So yeah. Moving on, Jidora's Cursed Coin. When this card is sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, you may play this card. During your opponent's battle phase, while calculating damage, you may send this equipped card to your discard. You take no damage from your opponent's critical successes this battle. So this is a May effect on multiple angles of this. You don't need to use it, and this is very good in control style plays, and it's better in late game when your opponent is attacking with 6 or more dice. When this card is sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, you may play this card. This gets around your 1 played card per turn during the prep phase. And it's a really good card to discard for cards that say like, hey, draw 2 cards, discard 1, that sort of thing. The way that you actually use this is you activate this after the agility rerolls, but before damage has been finalized. So this is one of few ways to ignore damage from critical successes. It doesn't technically block it, so yeah. Overall, it's kind of weak, but it's very, very good in a deck that wants to like make use out of this. And it's very good in a deck that rolls a lot of dice, or you want to like just slow the game down as well. So yeah, it's a unique effect. It's probably going to be better later on in the game's lifespan, but as of right now, I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. Purple Sticky Hand. During your preparation phase, you may roll 1 die. On a success, swap this card with an opponent's equipment. So it's a May effect. You don't need to use it. You can use it the turn that you play it. You can swap with any equipment that your opponent has, which is useful for getting rid of ones that have a send to discard effect, such as Judora's Cursed Sword, because you can steal their Judora's Cursed Sword, get +4 damage, and send it back into their discard. And that's pretty handy. And being able to steal like a Blade of Ultranova, which is a level requirement 5 card with this card, is pretty cool. That said, it's a 50-50 if it works or not. Overall, it's pretty cool. It doesn't target cards or equipment, so it will get around cards such as Camo Hot Dog, which will prevent your cards from being targeted, so this doesn't actually do that, so you can still use this effect. And if you do use this, your opponent does not have to swap back the original equipment. So you take one of your opponent's equipment, and then your opponent gains the Purple Sticky Hand. When your opponent uses this and they get a success, they do not have to swap back the equipment that they played, that you stole. They can steal any other ones that you have. So yeah, pretty cool. Overall, it's niche use, I would say. Equipment decks are not super strong at the moment due to like the Jadora discard, and Battle Fairies will, like, you can steal one of their things, but they're still gonna probably kill you anyway. So like, it's I don't know. It's a really cool effect to keep in mind for later. But yeah, if you have a turn where you steal their most important piece of equipment, oh man, that's gonna feel good. Moving on. Red Scorch Stone. During your opponent's battle phase, while calculating damage, you may send this equipped card to your discard. Reduce the damage taken this battle by 2. So this is a May effect. You don't need to use it. You can reduce 0 or 1 damage to 0 if you would like. This does work on critical success attacks, and you activate this after agility rerolls but before damage has been finalized. This is very good card for control style play, and it would probably see a lot of play in decks that want to drag it out and get into the late game and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give it a 2 personally, but it is pretty strong. Personally, I don't really find healing or preventing damage to be like worth the resource investment of a card played per turn and like a card in your deck to do that. Attack just seems to be overall better at the moment, but yeah, that can definitely change. Shield of Scorching. You are immune to being frozen. At the end of your opponent's battle phase, if you took any damage during battle, deal 1 damage to your opponent's Neopet. So some card notes. This does not remove freeze if you are already frozen when you play this. So for example, if you got frozen on turn 1 for some strange reason, and then you play this, it does still mean that you are frozen. This only cares about damage from the successful attack dice and not other equipment or sources of damage during the battle phase. Because the wording on this is a little ambiguous, but we did ask for clarification. So at the end of your opponent's battle phase, at the end of their turn after they attacked, if you took any damage during battle is specifically referring to the damage dice from the attack. And again, damage is dealt by the attacker first and then by the Shield of Scorching. There are no ties. Your opponent or your Neopet has to survive the damage in order to deal 1 damage back. So it is pretty cool effect. It might be worth using in the future, but as of right now, it's like, maybe? I don't know. I think it's a little bit stronger than some of the other equipment, and like if you are running like a Starry Jub, that sort of deck, you're very defensive. You're going to roll a lot of defense dice anyway, but you are wanting to take at least 1 damage, and if you're blocking everything except for the critical hits, like this might be like a pretty good like Thorns effect, as in like you take damage and then you deal damage back in response kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool card. I mean, lots of these are pretty cool cards, but how strong is it? It's neat. I like it. The effect isn't super splashy. It's like overall, if you want to compare it to cards that give like +2 attack, like you are probably going to get more value out of that. But being able to deal damage when it's not your turn is quite good as well. So yeah. And that brings us to our final rankings. 5 out of 5, we have Battle Fairy Shield and Blade of the Battle Fairy. 4 out of 5, I didn't give anything a 4, but we have 2 3s, which are the Battle Hammer and the Shield of Scorching. And my 2s personally are the Blue Frost Cannon, Jidora's Cursed Coin, Purple Sticky Hand, Red Scorch Stone, and 1 out of 5 is the Amulet of Chaos. You probably could have put that as 0, but 1 is good enough for that. Anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully this heat wave isn't too bad. As of right now, it's not that bad, so I'll probably try to record a couple more videos tonight, get those going in the queue, and thanks for watching. Catch you later.